On December the 7th, 1941, Mr. Jimmy Bass was a high school boy in the 11th grade. He and his two big brothers answered their country's call by joining the armed forces. He served in the U.S. Navy. One of his brothers served in the Army in the South Pacific, and the other was a fighter pilot in Europe. All three brothers served with distinction and were ultimately honorably discharged and returned to their private lives. The fact that all three of these brothers served together and with such outstanding records prompted a television documentary entitled A Band of Brothers, which featured their exemplary and unselfish service to their country during a time of war. According to Marjorie Halverstein, the Nahula Chapter Chairman for Service of Veterans Committee, upon Mr. Jimmy's discharge, he returned to Laurel and finished his education, studied photography as a profession, and opened his own studio after serving apprenticeships in two other well-known studios. He used his time and expertise to serve every school, church, civic organization, sports program, and patriotic cause in Laurel and surrounding towns, of course, with no charge. It was during morning sessions with his Liars Club cronies, held regularly with his band of brothers of the greatest generation, that the notion of creating a Veterans Memorial Museum was tossed about. Under his leadership, he and a dedicated group of veterans raised the necessary funds and saw the building completed, along with the memorabilia which is displayed within. He was instrumental in the construction of the Veterans Memorial Wall in conjunction with this museum. The wall is made of bricks, and on each brick is inscribed the name, rank, area, and length of service of a veteran from this community. The wall, even now, contains hundreds of names of veterans, both living and dead, and it grows month by month. Our Mississippi State Auditor, Stacy Pickering, proclaims that Mr. Jimmy is one of the most gracious and selfless men he's ever known, as he recommends him for Outstanding Veteran Volunteer Award. Since its opening on Memorial Day in 25, the Veterans Memorial Museum is a 6,000 square foot museum with hundreds of military artifacts, vintage photographs, historical documents, books, and records from veterans, families of veterans, and other military museums. A large number of displays focus on World War II. However, many interesting exhibit pieces are found from the Spanish-American and Civil Wars, World War I, Korean War, Vietnam War, Desert Storm, and Iraqi freedom. At its core, it is a memorial to American men and women who honorably served their country in the military service, and those who continue today to serve and defend our country in conflicts around the world. Mr. Jimmy, the ladies of the Nahula Chapter of Mississippi wanted to honor you this day in recognition of your leadership and the countless hours you have spent contributing to the comfort and preservation of veterans' history in this state, and seeing that your hometown of Laurel, with 18,000 citizens, has a permanent museum housing the collections of American veterans' records. Mr. Jimmy, would you come and accept this certificate? We hope to hang it from this great conquest of almost single-handedly putting up this museum and keeping everybody working in it free of charge. But his grandson, who we know and love as Lance Bass of the NSYNC group, is a Russian cosmonaut. Would you like to say a few words?
I really don't know how to start thanking you, DAR, the state of Mississippi, and especially our Laurel Nahula chapter for this honor that you give me tonight. I've had a lot of support, and it begins with my wife of 63 years, who's with us tonight, and all our many veterans around this country. Veterans who served in the past and present have been a big part of everything we've done. And we could not have done it without any of those people. So this honor really does not belong to me tonight. It belongs to all our veterans in our area. And I'm just here to really represent them. So that's what I want to do tonight, is represent our veterans in our state. As you may know or may not know, in looking back in some papers, I read that the DAR gave 25,000 hours of help to veterans last year. It's 25,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. And I'm sure it will continue to grow. One of my favorite quotes from Thomas Jefferson: "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots."